Hey there, I'm Nathan ASMR, and today I'm going to be going through this workshop for TingleCon 2022. So I wanted to do something kind of special here because I think I've seen a lot of workshops, but I haven't seen a ton talking about ASMR outdoors or traveling ASMR, ASMR in nature. I think that it can be really daunting and difficult, especially when you have to whisper, but at the same time, there's wind or there's other sounds that you might have in the background that make it kind of difficult to do. So, with that said, I wanted to show you some of my collection of items that I bring with me when I'm doing ASMR outdoors or traveling abroad. And some of these things are expensive, some of them are cheap, very cheap, in fact. And so I hope that you can find them useful for whatever you might need to use them for. So, to begin with, most importantly, I like to start with a good backpack because you're going to need to be carrying your camera. I've got this backpack here. See there, it's Neuer. And I think this was maybe $50, $30 to $50 US. And I can hold your camera, a couple lenses, a lot of your outdoor gear here, some compartments and things. It's pretty steady. And I brought it with me on a kayak. I've brought it with me into the Everglades, things like that. Napa Valley, and in a nice fancy place too. It gives you a great option to hold all your items. So that's the first and most important thing. Next, I like to get my other important thing, which is this right here. And that is the most important thing there is, and that is the phone. So I work for another YouTube channel as well as my own, and having a phone to just record can just be something that is invaluable. Let me turn this around here. There it is. Yeah. So as you can see, I mean, you can get a really good photo this way if you just get a tripod or something like that, and an iPhone or even a Samsung Android. Any smartphone is going to have what you need, and it really does, especially the iPhone. It provides really fantastic results. So next we have our some things for our phone, and these are probably the other important items I get. We have the phone, and we have this here. Now, as you can see, this is a DJI gimbal, and there's a bunch of different ones. This is the I think it's the DJI. Is it Action 5? I think it is a DJI Ohm 5. This particular gimbal has looks like it's not charged, but there are lights on the side of this, and they can provide a face light too. I found there a little too much glare with that, but it is useful, and you can use this to, again, get a smooth shot. I like to walk with it, really, just almost like this, and you're just walking. You can use it for almost anything. Zooming has a zoom button here. This runs about $100, $120, I want to say. You can get it at Best Buy or something like that, Amazon. But I found this to be very useful, especially when you're walking around and you want to get a smooth shot. So I highly recommend that one. There's also other options like a GoPro, which I don't like as much, especially for ASMR. The thing with the iPhone is you can connect through this lightning port. You can connect a 3.5 millimeter lightning cable connection, and that will allow you to basically connect your audio and use a wireless receiver or whatever it is you need to use. So next, I will connect off in this right here, and this is the Rode Wireless Go, and you can see it comes here with two items. This here. So as you can see, this is the connector. It's sort of blurry there, but this connector here connects to the phone, and then there's the audio jack. This is just a standard audio cable here, and you can plug it in there. So this is to put into your phone. And then this is, so one of these is a microphone. It's an omnidirectional microphone, and you can just put it, just like this right here. And then, you probably want to put it a little higher actually, but in this instance, but it's pretty effective. It does, look like that. You can, of course, connect a lavalier microphone to that, but this piece here would then connect. It could connect to the 3.5 millimeter jack on your camera DSLR or the back of an iPhone, just like that. And now you've got a wireless audio setup. Again, the preamps, I'm not sure if you could call them preamps, but the audio inside the iPhone is not optimal. But again, you can get very good results overall if you do it this way. One other caveat here is that you can then take this other device here, another Rode. Rode is a great option. Countryman is another great option for lavalier microphones. Sennheiser as well. They can be more expensive, a couple $100. This lavalier, as you can see, has a little windscreen on it, and this is about $100. You can remove the windscreen and put on the traditional cap there, but I like to keep this on just to block the wind. And you can actually put this piece, you plug it in there, and you can actually just keep this in your pocket, and then you've got, you'd put this up through your shirt with a little tape there, and it would be basically hidden. You can see there, it's just basically staying even without tape. So you have to be careful of the wind, and you need to be careful of the, just making sure your back is blocking the wind. And you want it to be hidden just like that. There is a risk of ruffling or rustling of your shirt, but I don't find it can be terrible. In fact, for ASMR, it can be relaxing. So again, that's about $100. There are cheaper ones, but again, I think the really good level starts probably about $200 to $300. But this entry level one, again, by Rode, RODE, is pretty good. Okay, so the next thing I like to have is this sort of Rode. I'm getting a lot of Rode stuff, but it's because they make good things that are just below pro level or pro level, and it's affordable. So we take this here, we take the Rode microphone, and we just basically slide it on like that. This is about $20, and kind of gives you just, you could use it, you could put a little fluffy windbreaker there, but you could do man on the street interviews with this. You could record something over there. I just find it very useful to have it on hand because you really can't just like finger this this microphone here without some finger sounds, muffled sounds. So this kind of helps that, and it's quite cheap. And again, it does have that nice sound, so you can actually just take a regular windbreaker and you put it on, and you've got yourself almost a radio microphone there. Okay, so we're now on to the next thing, and that is this right here. This is sort of a shock mount for my microphone here. Now the microphone I like to use is a Sennheiser MKH416, which is very pricey, but Rode does have, I think it's the NT5, NT3. The shotgun microphones are your best bet in terms of just outdoor scenarios. I really like having that option, and again, it gives you sort of a directional sort of sound capture, which is really important. The problem with the outdoors is you have so many different sounds that sometimes it's difficult to capture the sound you want. So the shotgun microphones can kind of pinpoint the sound a little bit better. So that's really important. And then I would stick it right here into this little shock mount to just allow me to run and gun, hold the camera, and move appropriately. So that's another thing I like to bring with me. Again, I do have another little contraption. This connects to the bottom of my gimbal, but as you can see here, so this is like when you have the gimbal in hand, you plug in the microphone there. So let me show you this here, but you can see this sort of connects right there, and you have sort of a run and gun setup with the microphone there, which is really, really nice as well. So definitely recommend that combination. And this little dual mount for the Rode is it's just like a regular mount there. So as you can see, I'm using my phone here, but you can just see my camera here as a Lumix GH5, and I have this 12 by 35 lens on, which is okay. 8 to 18 is also nice for the wide angles, for kind of wide shots. I have this built-on audio receiver, which is very useful. Just you can slip it on and off, and it's the actual GH5 brand. That was about $300. I think Sony has one, but again, that's pretty much only can be used with the DSLR. So this really helps. You can see it's on like kind of a sort of action tripod down there, which I bring with me. It's a Manfrotto. And Manfrotto, again, a good tripod. It really can cost a couple $100, or like $150, I would say, for outdoors, because the wind could blow it otherwise. And that's just minimum. If your camera has, a huge rig on it, then it could be different. But that's why I think the phone is such an attractive setup, because it does allow you to do it more cheaply and easier, but having this audio, the real deal, does make a big difference. So another thing I have is this leveler. I find when you're outdoors and you're kind of trying to, let's see if I can get this here. You can see here. Now this also fits onto the, I think it's called a NATO mount, I think it is. But it also fits there. And again, when you're sort of walking, it's sometimes really hard. I use this on my other gimbal. I have another one, which is the DJI, and that is the nicer. It's like it was $1,000 or so. I used it for like real estate stuff. Primarily, I don't use it for much for ASMR. This one is a lot more convenient, especially for B-roll and things like that. But the leveler isn't important. It's a couple dollars on Amazon. You can just type NATO, NATO mount leveler. So the next thing we have here is these battery packs. So I can't stress enough how important extra batteries are. I always bring at least 2 or 3 with me. These are the Lumix GH5 ones, but whatever your respective camera has. I also recommend buying like an Anker iPhone, just an extra battery. Again, if you're taking footage, especially in ProRes or 4K with your phone, I highly recommend you will get that extra battery and just use it as needed. So those are also very important. So next we have this drone right here. And this is the DJI Air 2S. And I bought it's a sort of a bundle, which has the ND filters for like sunny days and things, which is definitely very useful. And you get some extra batteries, which are these right here. They do take a long time to charge, and so you're going to want several of them. And with this one, there's also the DJI Mini 2, which just came out, which does 4K, and it's amazing. It's great for getting landscape views. You need to be really careful about just legal stuff. You do need to have it registered with the FAA, which is easy to do online. You can see right here on my drone, you would put a tag on it with an identification number. And that is important. So there's a lot of legality there, just make sure you jump through all the hoops. But again, it's a game changer. I use it for like shots of myself sometimes, which are really cool, over the head shots or reveal shots where you're kind of backing away slowly, and they're really amazing for those kind of shots. There are cheaper options. I do like DJI. Clearly, I have a lot of their gear. What you do is you have this controller here, and you just can put your phone right there, and it connects via these cables here, lightning cables, as you can see right there. And you can just use this as a controller to use your drone. So that's really, really cool too, and very easy. And it's great for B-roll as well. And now we're on to a couple more things here. I have 4 of these. This is an aperture light. You can see that's the case, and these are, I have them actually on the other side here. I use them in my mobile setup, but even at home, there are several settings. It's pretty light there, but you can change the brightness. You can also do different hues. You can see that's sort of a blue hue, so if I like to just get like kind of a blue lighting behind me here, it's very, very useful for that. There's also different effects too, like fire, as you can see here. It just kind of gives this sort of fire effect. Now, you wouldn't use these effects for outdoors. I do use them for role plays, but I do really like to have just the lights for lighting certain objects or things, so that it sort of matches. So that light is available for about $80 to $100 on Amazon. I think it might vary per country and everything, but that's a good place to buy it. So we have a couple more items here. This is a boom pole. So what you do here is you, this thing extends. You can hear it, so it has a nice sound to it actually. And you connect the microphone here. And now I think this goes 9 feet or something like that. I mean, I could probably go all the way back to that wall. But again, I live in Florida, so you're outdoors in the Everglades, and you might not want to get that close to that gator. So this 10-foot pole with a microphone on top will absolutely solve that problem. Again, it's used in film and those things because you're miking talent, but you need another person to usually do that. So I primarily use it for the B-roll and things like that, close-ups and stuff like that. So that's really cool. And now I have another item here. And this is another Manfrotto. And this Manfrotto, I believe it's $65. I got it at Best Buy. I use this for my mobile. A lot of this is for my in-studio, but also outdoors. If you want a second camera angle and you have a DSLR, you can use your phone to get the B-roll. And as you can see here, let's see if we can, sort of a nice crinkly sound there. And this is you can see that. This is the tripod here. And it has a phone connector. Again, you can just kind of put it directly in the slot and tighten it here. Wouldn't use this in high winds, but it is very effective to have just as a second option. And again, it's $65, so it doesn't break the bank too much. Now let's check out the last couple items here. Put this here. And this here. And now I have my next item here. And this is a blimp. Now, a blimp is used to block wind. You can actually open it up here. So I live in Florida, so it's almost essential with the high winds here, but really everywhere. This is very, very useful. You're gonna block out all the winds. I wanna say this probably does about 20 mile per hour winds, something like that. I think there's a lot of variables there, but you can see here, it's just like the shock mount that I showed you earlier, this one. And you basically slide in the, you would slide in it just like that. You'd plug in the 3 prongs, plug it in the back of the microphone, and then you just slide it back in, and you would close it just like this. And the thing is, you would connect your audio cable there. Now you could put this at the end of this boom pole here. This is a very common setup here. You can see that would be a great way to capture audio with no wind from far away. However, you can also put this on a regular audio stand. It's really, this thing is, no, this is expensive. I'm not gonna lie, it's $400 for this blimp. But if you're doing nature, traveling, and you don't want to just do a voiceover, this is very, very effective right here, this blimp. And this one is a Rode blimp as well. Again, these foam filters, these are only a dollar or two on Amazon. They're very useful to have several of these. Just any type of wind blocker is really good, and they're cheaper options here, but they're really not going to do the same. The thing is, when air leaks through, it causes a hissing sound. So even if you just get one that's like 90% effective, it might even make it worse. So I think it's pretty tough to deal with wind. It's probably the hardest factor. You could just record on calm days, but that blimp really works well. And that one specifically fits shotgun microphones. So you also have this, just a fluffy case. I have two of them actually. So in case that gets really crazy, Arctic winds level, I like to use these. So you can see they're almost like a pillow. But I will show you this very quickly. So yeah, these fluffy things, you just put them over the blimp. I have actually just put a microphone or two inside of this, but obviously it's not going to work as well. It's not as airtight, but I've just done it when this is a little bigger opening here, but I've done it when I'm sort of in a bind. And as you can see here, here's the Rode blimp connected like that, and you can just sort of see that right there. But yeah, this is sort of how it looks right here, and it's just sort of like almost like a soft, a little further.